What's up everybody, Damon here, and in today's gaming news, Nintendo just mentioned Metroid Prime 4, and a couple classic gaming franchises are finding recent mega success. This is your Daily Fix. Presented by Pringles. Nintendo has outlined upcoming Nintendo Switch exclusives and still lists the long-absent Metroid Prime 4 as a Switch game. As part of its latest financial report, Nintendo listed all the upcoming and announced games coming to the Switch. Notably, the list includes Metroid Prime 4, which still carries a temporary title and TBA release date. The full list is Detective Pikachu Returns on October 6th, Super Mario Bros. Wonder on October 20th, WarioWare Move It on November 3rd, Super Mario RPG on November 17th. Looking into next year, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is for 2024. Princess Peach will star as the main character in a brand new game, that's a temporary title for now, for 2024. And finally, Metroid Prime 4, TBA. It's at least nice to see Nintendo acknowledge Metroid Prime 4. It has suffered a tumultuous development since it was announced 6 years ago in 2017. Development was restarted in 2019 with the help of Retro Studios, developer of the original Metroid Prime games. At that time, Nintendo said it took the decision because the fourth entry, quote, has not reached the standards we seek in a sequel to the Metroid Prime series. Nintendo has been silent on Metroid Prime 4 ever since, leading some to speculate the game was either in development hell or had moved focus to launch on the Switch's next-gen successor, rumored to launch in late 2024. Since Nintendo itself still lists it as a Switch title, perhaps the company plans to re-reveal it later this year as its final Nintendo Switch game and a next-gen launch title, much like Breath of the Wild was the last Wii U game from Nintendo, as well as a Switch launch game. I do still want Metroid Prime 4, but I have to echo all the IGN commenters who are asking, where the heck is Super Mario Odyssey 2? Speaking of Nintendo, the company saw huge revenue and profit gains off the back of the enormous success of Tears of the Kingdom and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Tears of the Kingdom sold an impressive 18.5 million units as of the end of June. Reporting its financial results for the 3 months ending June 30th, Nintendo said Tears of the Kingdom got off to a good start, following its launch on May 12th, significantly increasing overall software sales, but also driving sales of the Nintendo Switch. In fact, sales of first-party software this quarter reached the highest level for a first fiscal quarter since the launch of Nintendo Switch in 2017. Nintendo said sell-through of this one title constitutes approximately half of the first-party software sold this fiscal year. Consumers who played the previous entry, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, have been the primary driver, but as the weeks have passed, we have seen that a growing percentage of purchases are being made by consumers who have not yet played that title. Zelda wasn't the only big contributor to Nintendo's bottom line. The April 5th release of the Super Mario Bros. Movie was enormous. Nintendo said as of July 30th, a whopping 168 million people worldwide have now seen the movie, and as of July 26th, global box office revenue crossed 1.3 billion. That's the highest ever for an original film based on a video game and the second highest for an animated film. This is helping us build a lasting affection for our Super Mario IP around the world, Nintendo said. The success of the Mario movie had the knock-on effect of growing sales of Mario games, such as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario merchandise. The eternally popular kart racer shifted another 1.7 million units during the quarter and has now sold an eye-watering 55.5 million copies. Nintendo said, by expanding Nintendo IP in areas outside the dedicated video game platform, we create new opportunities for consumers to encounter Nintendo IP, and this invigorates our overall business. Based on the various effects that we have confirmed through the release of this movie, we will continue our efforts towards visual content-related initiatives. Oh good, I can't wait to go to the theater to watch the latest Nintendo visual content-related initiative. Nintendo Switch sales increased nearly 14% year-on-year, and software sales increased 26% year-on-year. The number of Nintendo Switch annual playing users between July 2022 and June 2023 was the highest ever, exceeding 116 million players. As of June 30th, 130 million Nintendo Switches have been sold. It's the third best-selling console of all time, behind just the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2. The end result is sales were up 50% year-on-year, and net profit was up 52.1%. In other words, for Nintendo, everything's coming up Milhouse. And speaking of selling a lot of games, Capcom's Resident Evil 2 remake has sold more copies than any other game in the horror franchise's 27-year history. Earlier this week, Capcom updated its sales record for the 114 platinum titles the company has created throughout the years that have sold through 1 million units. The new list, which takes into account games sold up until June 30th, revealed that Resident Evil 2 Remake has now sold over 12.6 million units since its January 2019 launch. 12.6 million is enough to place the remake at the top of the franchise's bestseller list, dethroning the previous record holder Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which has sold 12.4 million copies in the 6 years since its January 2017 release. It also made the Resident Evil 2 Remake the third best-selling game in the history of the company, with only 2021's Monster Hunter Rise and 2018's Monster Hunter World surpassing its record. For those keeping track at home, this year's Resident Evil 4 Remake has sold nearly 5 million copies, making it the 15th best-selling Capcom game ever. And that is your Daily Fix for Thursday, August 3rd. Now that you're caught up on the news, watch the official launch trailer for Baldur's Gate 3. I'm Damon Hatfield, and for all your gaming news, stay tuned to IGN.